Is it possible that we would travel normally again someday? And how is England planning to do that? This is a news from BBC.
Transport Secretary Grant Shapps said that people in England can start thinking about their foreign holidays this summer. Mr. Shapps is creating a traffic light system to grade countries based on their risk of contamination. The countries are labeled as green, amber, and red. The green marked countries have the least risk of contamination, and the red has the most. Each color has its own precautions, but to travel to any country, red, amber, or green, the traveler will have to do a pre-departure COVID test and have a passenger locator form. But in the red flag countries, being the worst graded, the traveler will have to stay in a quarantine managed hotel for 10 days and do a PCR test 8 days from their arrival.
Mr. Shapps said that even more pressing than the holiday travel was people separated from family members living overseas, and the government wants people to be able to reunite. He also said countries will be categorized based on the level of infections, vaccinations, and variants of concern. But Shadow Home Secretary Nick Thomas Simons criticized the government has not spoken about what are the levels of these factors they are using to place countries into each category. Currently, nearly 40 countries are on the red list of where travel is banned. The rules will be reviewed on 28 June to see whether any measures can be rolled back. The First Ministers of Scotland and Wales agreed that 7th May will be too early to foreign travel to resume.
So, what is the travel industry saying? The government plans have been met with mixed reactions from the travel industry, but most of the companies and their representatives are not satisfied with the government decisions because it makes traveling something restricted for wealthy people who are able to pay for the expensive PCR test.
So, our opinion as a group is that these measures England is taking are very interesting because they are cautious in planning, which allows the country to think in the reopening of the tourism sector of the economy, but putting health in first place. In addition, different over the tourism sector thinks that this reopening does not correspond to what was promised by the government because, of course, they aim to earn money, and with all these protocols, it won't be possible the way they want. Our group considers that this reopening is not as safe as England is trying to make it sound because it's still early and risky to travel, especially in a moment that new variants are springing up and the priority should be to increase vaccination in global scale.